Hey, happy Thursday, Houston. I'm KHOU meteorologist Kim Castro. I'm going to start you off with this beautiful camera shot. This is from our studios at the Galleria. We're on Westheimer and Chimney Rock, and we got a really good vantage point of what is a mostly clear day. We are not tracking rain. We're tracking very little cloud cover and still looking at some lower humidities. All in all, it's a win. Here's a check at temperatures across the area. So we've got a mixed bag between upper 80s to low 90s. That's very nice and comfortable, especially with the lower humidity for an outdoor lunch. So if you packed a lunch, you're at the office, maybe you just take it outside to a little picnic table and have your lunch there. 88 degrees right now at Hobby and Tomball, Sugar Land 91. If you're headed to Bush Airport, you're at 91. Pearland, you're at 89. The only little warning with the clear skies is that it does create a little bit extra ground level ozone. So the sun interacts with the regular pollutants that we have any ordinary day. So the exhaust from cars, from factories, and it just creates a little bit extra ozone. And so for the counties including Harris, Brazoria, and Galveston, that's where we tend to see some of that ozone pool a little bit. So if you have been having some issues with your throat, maybe you're sick, you're fighting a cold, maybe you have asthma, it's recommended that you don't spend too much time outside, or at least try to limit the strenuous activity. So something that would cause you to huff and puff, like a run, for example. Other than that, air quality, that's it. And I will say we had an air quality alert yesterday, and I was watching the air quality monitor, and we stayed in the green or the yellow, which is good or moderate, the entire afternoon. So I think it's just worth noting, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue whatsoever. High temperatures today, mid and upper 90s, 97 in Navasota, Katy, Brenham, I think downtown we get to 98. And that is actually hotter than where we should be for this time of year. In fact, average high temperature should be 93 degrees, but that forecast high of 98, that's not going to break records. That's not even going to put a dent in a record, because we actually have a pretty special record today, September 4th, 2000. That is when we got our all-time Houston hottest temperature, which is 109 degrees. You'll notice we actually got up to 109 two more times, and I'm trying to remember the year. I think it was 2023. I'll have to check that. But it was, I think, 2 summers ago. I remember we had 2 days that we hit that too. But that is the hottest that Houston's ever gotten. Sunset time for today is at 7:40, and you'll notice the days are getting shorter. I don't like that. I love being outside and it still being light out. But what I do like about this time of year is that we get some fronts and we get some breaks from the humidity. We are currently under a break of sorts. So dew points are mainly in the upper 60s today, which is not bad. Dew points do start to climb tomorrow through the weekend. They'll be upper 60s, low 70s, which, hints at that tropical feel. But then you'll notice as we go into the middle of next week, we get another drop in humidity. And actually, I think this one is going to be more significant. We could perhaps break into the upper 50s, which would make it feel more comfortable. And the reason being is that, yes, we have got that front, which means that we have got to watch for some rain chances. We'll start to see the rain back in the forecast on Saturday with a couple of afternoon storms. And then by Sunday, we could see some downpours, and some of that moisture could linger into your Monday, making for potentially a messy commute. Notice we go from a 30% chance for storm Saturday to 70 Sunday, and holding those higher rain chances through the start of the week. Today and tomorrow, though, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to take a few days for the moisture source to get here, and it's actually traveling from the Pacific. So we start you off with Tropical Storm Lorena. So as of the 10 o'clock advisory, it has dropped from a hurricane to a tropical storm, but it's still a pretty strong tropical storm, 70 miles an hour. It has made landfall in Baja California and now breaking apart as it's interacting with all that land. Notice it is moving towards the northwest at this point, but eventually it's going to start to take a turn towards the northeast. Check this out. So moisture spilling over into the northwest side of Mexico first, and then eventually traveling to us, the Lone Star State, and it's going to meet up with the front at the same time. So that means the front is our lifting mechanism, and Lorena, the remnants of it, is our moisture source. Both of these coupled together, so this lifts up the moisture, creates a cloud cover, and then we get the rain. So we do have some higher rain chances going into the weekend. Here's a check of future tracks. So today we are mostly sunny. Tomorrow, I think we see a little bit more cloud cover. We will see the return of that sea breeze. It's going to be a little bit more humid out there as well. Then by Saturday, I think early morning we're fine, but by the time we're having lunch, that's when we can expect a couple of downpours. Those heavy downpours linger into the afternoon, so now you're looking at a snapshot at 4:30. If you're going down towards the coast, maybe you're traveling down 288, that's where the models have a lot of moisture focused. Maybe even in Galveston, you'll have to just, go inside when the rain hits. And if there's thunderstorms, you'll have to watch for that as well. Notice Sunday, the rain picks up the pace a little earlier. So that's a snapshot at 7. And I think we have repeated rounds of rain. So morning, afternoon, and evening. And that could lead to a few inches of rainfall by the time this week is all said and done. The models right now are giving lighter totals for the Panhandle, for North Texas, for Southeast Texas, and some slightly higher rain chances for places like Del Rio down to Brownsville. And so those are some of the areas, Del Rio to Kerrville, that we could see some higher rainfall totals. So that's going to be something we monitor closely. Right now, we've got this flood outlook with a big heads up all the way to Sunday with a threat level 2 on the 1 to 4 scale. And notice the threat level 1, the marginal risk, does include all of Southeast Texas. So that's why if you are already thinking ahead to the weekend, I guess it's Thursday, you better be thinking ahead to the weekend. Maybe you don't pencil in too many things outside on Sunday because you might have to switch things around. Saturday looks like a much better day. Something else to keep tabs on, this time in the Atlantic Basin, which is usually where the majority of the focus lies, an 80% chance of development. So this looks to become the next named storm over the next 7 days. And an update between the Euro and the American model, they're starting to get a little better agreement. They're both tracking pretty far south, which is not exactly what we want to see, because that would mean that there's a chance that the system enters the Caribbean. The good thing is that both of the models do have this turn, so this northerly turn, and this would be next Saturday. So not this Saturday, but the following weekend. So we've got plenty of time to monitor its development. But still, I would like for the models to start hinting that a little bit further north, so it would take that north turn a little faster. So we'll keep tabs on that. 98 degrees, again, that is going to be the hottest day of the 7-day forecast, but it feels great because that sunshine is not met with a ton of humidity. So it's a drier heat, if you will, for today. Tomorrow, a little bit more moisture, a little bit more cloud cover, but still no rain. Then Saturday, a couple of isolated storms, and the storms become a little bit more widely scattered. We could see a couple of inches from the Sunday rain, and that does have the potential to linger into Monday. Beyond that, the front clears out the rain, it clears out some humidity, and we're back to a nicer forecast Tuesday into Wednesday. Okay, our next newscast is coming up at 4 o'clock with Chris Ramirez, and then our chief meteorologist David Paul will walk you through any changes on the evening news at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. We'll